so that we can work with our mind, work with our heart. Okay, so it's just 12:30 now, so I'm going to get started. So hello and welcome to the Glasgow Buddhist Center live stream. My name's Pasadni. We'll be here for the next 45 minutes to an hour, and I'm going to lead us in the session. We're going to do a few things today. So normally we would be doing this in the Buddhist Center, which is in downtown Glasgow. But obviously that's not possible at the moment, although things are changing. So we will let you know when things change. If you check out our website at glasgowbuddhistcenter.com, it's also on our YouTube channel, the link for that. You can always check in to see when things change, and we will be doing things in person. But for now, this is what we've got, so we can teach meditation to you via our live stream. So again, come back to our channel, subscribe to our channel, and that will update you. That's great. Jeanette's put that in the link for the Buddhist Center in the chat. That's great. Thank you, Jeanette. So so today what we're going to do is I'm going to say just a little bit about posture to start. Just, if you're new to meditation, I'll say a little bit about posture just to get us into a comfortable position enough for the next 45 minutes to an hour. But there are links on our YouTube channel to posture videos, so it'll help you find the right posture for you. Obviously, not everyone is comfortable sitting on the floor like I am. You might be more comfortable sitting in a chair or sitting on a bench on the floor or lying down even. So I'll say a little bit more about posture, and then I'll lead us in just an arriving kind of practice, getting us more into our bodies, more into this physical form. And then I will introduce you to the metta bhavana practice, which is the cultivation of loving kindness. And I'll say a little bit more about that then, and tell you about just about the meditation. But basically, this session is about engaging with our hearts and engaging with our emotions. So if you just want to take a minute and before we start anything, and just tune into your heart right now. Yeah, and if it helps, you could just put your hand on your chest, on your heart, and just tune in to how you feel right now. So in any of these practices, we're not here to add a layer of judgment on what we find, but just to tune in to what we find. So often we don't really know what's happening inside, in our hearts, in our minds. So meditation and these practices are an opportunity to slow down, to really feel into our felt experience of aliveness, and to tune into what's happening. Yeah, what's our landscape? What's the weather like in our world? And then from that place, we begin to develop and understand a little bit more about ourselves and what drives us. Yeah, why do we act in the way that we act? And we can begin to make different choices for ourselves potentially from that new place of understanding and wisdom. And hopefully from that place, we begin to understand a little bit more about why we struggle and why we suffer, so that we can begin to make different choices for ourselves so that we can suffer less. Yeah. So Buddhism its main focus is teaching this understanding of why we suffer, and that we do suffer and why we suffer, and then helping us to begin to suffer less. Yeah. This path that leads to the cessation of suffering. Okay, so a little bit about posture. So wherever you find yourself right now, Whether it's on a chair, on the floor, lying down, just make sure that your body is comfortable. Yeah, so that's the big thing, really, is just that we're comfortable in our posture and that we have a sense of our body being stable in whatever posture we find ourselves in. So, yeah, so sometimes if we're sitting in a chair, it helps to just put a little cushion behind our back. So that brings us just a little bit further forward in the chair so that we can then really feel our feet on the floor and feel that alignment in our bodies all the way up to the tops of our heads. Yeah. So if you're sitting on the floor like myself, again, just, yeah, feeling the stability of the legs, the feet, the pelvis, and then the spine rising up, and the hands being supported either on the thighs. If you're sitting on a chair, maybe that's also a place for your hands to be put, but also you can wrap a blanket or a scarf or whatever you have, wrap it and make this neat little, also helps keep your legs warm as well. Make this nice little kind of pocket for your hands to go into. And you can, again, do this if you're sitting in a chair as well, and you can see that that helps kind of support my arms, make it so that my shoulders can relax, but that they're not sort of being pulled downward either. Yeah. Yeah, so just so feeling comfortable, feeling stable, and feeling aligned, a sense of alignment in the body. And this can sometimes take a while to kind of find if you're new to body work or working with the body. So be patient. Be willing to make any kind of like micro adjustments that you need to make to kind of come back into that alignment, but also trusting that the body knows its own alignment, yeah, on a deeper level. So we've got lots of places in our bodies where we have constricted, maybe through difficulties that we've had in our lives, and then our body constricts. And so we have things where our bodies are a bit more tense. Yeah. So then just noticing that tension, but like trusting that beneath that tension is a deeper sense of alignment. So we're tuning into that. So, yeah, just noticing that right now. What is that deeper sense of alignment for you at the moment? Okay, so we're going to do a few minutes of just arriving in the body. So I'll lead you in that, and I'm going to be ringing a bell during these meditations. So later when I teach you the 5-stage metta practice, and then when I lead you in that, I'll be using this bell, which I'll ring right now. And that just indicates a transition. So right now, just transitioning inward. And feeling the body in whatever posture that you're in right now. Feeling the connection of the breath in the body. And then feeling the feet, feeling into your feet. Feeling that connection of the feet with the earth, with whatever your feet are resting on. And then finding the soles, maybe if you're sitting in a chair, you can feel the soles of your feet connected with the earth, with the ground beneath. Really allowing the breath, feeling the breath in the feet, yeah? So feeling that the breath is in the whole body is breathing. And the breath in the feet, and just notice how just with the in-breath, you can feel into the feet a little bit easier. And with the out-breath, sometimes we tend to lift up out of our experience with the out-breath. See if you can just allow the in-breath and the out-breath to stay connected with the feet. So not lifting up out of the feet with the out-breath. Just allowing the breath just to come and go, staying in the feet. So see if you can notice the difference between being aware of your feet and then also the difference between that and in actually being in your feet. So inhabiting your feet. And some people describe this as it's almost as if they're putting their feet, they're slipping back into their feet, yeah? As if they were a pair of shoes. So really being in the feet, being the feet, being your feet. And then coming up through into the ankles, feeling the softness as you inhabit that area, softening the ankles. And coming up into the legs, the shins, and the calves. Just really inhabiting your legs. And then noticing your knees. And seeing if you can be in both of your knees at the same time. Balancing that sense of being in the knees equally. And then coming up into the thighs, backs of the legs, the whole upper part of the legs. And then into the hips and the hip sockets. And again, just seeing if you can balance in both of those hips, in both of your hips, the hip sockets. And then noticing the transition from the hips into the pelvis and the torso, the lower torso, the belly, and the low back. And coming up into the belly button area, the waist, the midsection, the body, the torso. That soft belly beneath the line of the ribs, the solar plexus area. And coming up into the upper part of the torso, the chest, the ribs, and the upper back. Just as you're going, just really feeling that you're inhabiting those areas. And feeling the shoulders Again, the shoulder sockets, feeling like that you're in both of the shoulders at the same time. You might notice a slight resonance in those joints as you fill the body with yourself. And then coming down into the arms and the elbows, the lower arms and the hands. Coming up into the neck, that cylinder of the neck. And into the face and the head, back of the head, top of the head. Being in that space of the head, being in the space of the body. Feeling that space of the body. And it's as if you're sitting in the body, inhabiting it fully. Excuse me. What's that like to just inhabit the body and feeling the breath as it comes in and out as you inhabit your body, feeling the space of the body. And now just in your own time, just opening your eyes, transitioning back. See if you can stay connected and in your body, not losing that thread of connection as you open your eyes. Feeling the breath, feeling the space of the body. Okay, so we're going to do a we're not going to do a mindfulness of breathing. We're going to do a metta bhavana practice together. So I'm just going to say a little bit about metta, just to get us into that arena, that area. And then I'll say a little bit about the 5-stage practice, and then I'll lead you through the practice. So we'll do a 25-minute meditation together. So you might just want to kind of stretch a little bit right now and just move your body and be a bit more comfortable, so that you can then come back into your meditation posture in a few minutes. So what is metta? So metta is translated generally as loving kindness or love. Another translation of it is solidarity, friendliness. So it's this experience of connection, this experience of wanting what's best for oneself and for each other, So it's the heart's engagement in the world, metta. And in the practice, we're going to be connecting with that sense of well-wishing. and wishing that all beings be well. Wishing that, I like to think about it as wishing that we all can have our deepest heart's longing. Yeah. So when we tune into our hearts and what we long for, generally what we find are things like longing for peace, calm, connection, intimacy, love. So what would it be like if we just allowed ourselves to really want that for ourselves and want that for each other? Yeah. So that is the kind of realm of metta practice. That is the realm of metta. Metta is this really deep heart's longing for peace, for love, for well-wishing. And in that, in that sense of well-wishing, we are connecting with these universal experiences and emotions and feelings that we all have. Yeah. This desire to be happy, to be loved. So in the practice, we're just making space to connect with that. Yeah, we're making space to connect with this heart's longing, with this metta, with this friendliness, this solidarity. So what would it be like if we just felt that sense of solidarity, of friendliness for ourselves, for all beings? Yeah, regardless of any prejudice or any boundary or any idea of right and wrong. So that is metta. So in the metta bhavana practice, we are giving ourselves different opportunities to kind of understand metta and how it relates to ourselves and to other people. So in the practice, we go through 5 different stages. In the first stage, we bring to mind ourselves. So we kind of tune into ourselves. Yeah. So again, that sense of really being inhabiting in our bodies. So really in touch with who and what we are at the moment. And then we wish ourselves well. Yeah. So we wish this, that whatever that our heart longs for, that we may experience that we may have that. Yeah. And we just sit with that. We create the space for that, and then we just see what arises. Yeah. How does our heart respond to its own wish for itself? Yeah, in a way. And then in the next stage of the practice, we bring to mind a friend, and we do that same process of wishing them well. Yeah. So we bring them to mind, and then we notice how we feel in relationship with them. Yeah, we notice how we feel when we bring them to mind. We notice how the heart responds. And then we bring to mind that sense of friendliness or solidarity. Yeah, that sense of wanting for them the same thing that we would want for ourselves. That we have our deepest heart's longing. Yeah. And then we do that with someone who we don't know that well. Yeah, someone that we feel neutral about. So maybe we do know them, but we just feel kind of neutral about them. We don't sort of feel like they're a friend, and we don't necessarily feel like we have a lot of animosity towards them. So bring them to mind and go through that same process. And then in the 4th stage, it's someone that we feel we have difficulty with. Now, it doesn't mean that the person is a difficult person. We all are probably each other's difficult person, yeah. At times, it's bringing to mind someone that, and if you're new to the practice, bringing to mind someone that maybe just you feel a bit irritated around, yeah, something they do you find irritating. And then so bringing them to mind And then wishing them well. Yeah. So they might do something that you find irritating, but they also have a heart that longs for freedom, that longs to be happy, that longs for peace and connection and intimacy. Yeah. So we just stand in solidarity with that. Yeah. We're in solidarity with that. We sit or stand or however we are in solidarity with their own heart's longing. Yeah. And we wish that for them. And we just notice how that feels. Yeah. We notice how it feels. Maybe our heart feels more tight around them. We don't really, it's hard to sort of feel like we want to wish them that for them. And that's okay. Just notice that. Yeah. So this whole practice is about being honest with how we are and who we are in this moment. Yeah. So just being aware of that. And then coming back to that wish for them. Yeah. And then just see what happens, see what arises in that space. And then in the last stage, it's called the sort of equalizing and radiating stage. Yeah. So we bring to mind all the people that we've used in the practice. So ourselves, good friend, someone we feel neutral about, and then someone that we have difficulty with. And then we wish them well equally. So we imagine that our sense of solidarity is with them equally. Yeah, that sense of friendliness is with them equally. And we just sit with that for a minute or two. And then we just imagine radiating that sense of goodwill, that sense of well-wishing out into the world. Yeah. So we radiate that sense of solidarity with all of life, with all beings everywhere, regardless of who they are. May they also be happy. So that is the practice. So we'll do that for the next 25 minutes. And I'll ring bells as we go through each stage. Yeah. And you will get distracted. You will go off on a story. Your mind will get up to stuff. Yeah. So, and that's absolutely fine. We all struggle with that at times. We all notice that at times. Maybe we don't struggle with it, but we notice that, yeah, that our minds are off on one. Yeah. So the practice is just to keep coming back to what we're doing in the meditation. So whether it's, whoever we're bringing to mind, coming back to the body, coming back to the practice again and again. And that is the training. That is meditation. It's a training. Yeah. And you'll notice from sit to sit that might be easier. Yeah. There might be more ease. There might be more of a sense of being able to stay with the practice. And that's fine. That's fine. It's very common that it's like we're a different person each time we sit down. Yeah. Okay, so I'm going to lead you through the practice. So find your posture, get comfortable, feel relaxed, feel aligned and upright. So here we are. So just connecting back in with the body if we've lost that thread of connection. Feeling as if we are sitting in the body, sitting in the posture, however our body is right now. Making any adjustments that we need to make. And then and settling down into the posture. And then noticing how we feel right now. Yeah, what's the internal weather like? Noticing, being alive to how we are right now. And then when you're ready, just tuning in to the heart, tuning into your heart right now. And what does it feel like your heart is longing for right now? And just allow the heart to speak in whatever language it wants to speak in, whether it's words or images or sensations. That's okay. Or if it's just not ready to answer, that's fine too. So whatever it is, just see if you can wish your own heart, your own being well. Yeah, whatever you find. Whatever's there, can you just be in solidarity with yourself? What's it like to just befriend yourself right now? And just want what's best for yourself. And then noticing how the heart responds to that. So every day we wake up and we brush our teeth and we eat our meals. We put clothes on our body. Every day we are acting as a friend to ourselves. Every day we are expressing kindness to ourselves. Kindness and care, like a good friend. So can we just notice that? Just like wish that for ourselves. Like wish that we could be really aware of that motivation of kindness. Just in those very simple acts, each done with kindness and care. Nothing special. Just that wish for our own wellness. And allowing the heart to resonate with that. Allowing the heart to be open to our own care, our own interest, So moving into the second stage of the practice. So staying in touch with the body, that sense of being in the body, can be helpful to just ground our experience of the practice. So bringing to mind a friend, however you want to bring them to mind, whether it's through seeing them in your mind's eye, having an image of them like a picture, or saying their name in your mind, or just having a feeling of what it's like to be in their presence. And then wanting that same care and kindness and love for them, wanting them to experience that, to have that in their life. And just noticing how that feels, noticing if that feels difficult or easy or a bit uncertain. Whatever it is, it's fine. And if it's helpful, you can just use the phrase, "May you be well." You can just repeat that kind of slowly and softly in your mind, if that's helpful to stay focused. It's a very traditional way of doing this practice, using phrases. Or may you have what your heart truly longs for. May you realize your heart's wish. So just feeling into that, being aware of wishing your friend well, or wishing that they have their heart longs for. From the space of your body and your heart. So now moving into the third stage, just bringing to mind someone that you don't know that well, or someone that you don't feel is a friend or is someone that you have animosity towards, someone you feel neutral about. Could just be someone that you've seen at the post office or the store or on the street. You don't know them that well. Just bringing them to mind, just choosing one of those people and bringing them to mind. And then wishing for them the same thing that you've wished for yourself and your friend. Yeah. May they also have what their heart truly longs for. May they know kindness and love. And then noticing how the heart responds. Coming back every time that you feel your mind has wandered into stories, distractions of any kind. Just coming back to the body, coming back to that sense of wishing this neutral person well, wishing that they may be liberated from whatever suffering they experience. And just being honest about how you feel when you bring that to mind. If we're honest with ourselves, we are practicing metta. We are cultivating metta. Just being honest and kind to whatever we find. This is the practice. So now tuning into the fourth stage of the practice. So bringing to mind someone that you feel animosity towards, someone that you feel it's not easy to feel connected to for whatever reason. Maybe there's just a sense of distance or difficulty. And if you're new to the practice, just finding someone that you maybe they do something that maybe you find slightly irritating. So it's just a little harder to feel open towards them. So bringing them to mind and then noticing how that feels to bring them to mind. And then wishing them well, wishing that they have what their heart longs for, that they too want to be happy and free from suffering, just like everyone else that you've brought to mind so far. So just noticing if you feel that that feels difficult. So holding that on one hand, and on the other hand, see if you can also connect with just also wanting them to be well. I know that it feels difficult, and yet I still want them to be well. I still want them to know kindness, to know love, to be also freed from what makes them suffer. This stage of the practice is not about forgetting anything that might be difficult between you, but being able to, in the midst of that, still know that they are a person who also suffers, and connecting with a wish for that to be alleviated. This allows our heart to be bigger, to be able to hold all the complexities of life and still be able to connect with that sense of caring, that sense of solidarity, of friendliness. Even if it feels that all you can do is just say the phrases, may you be well, may you be happy, may you be free from suffering. Just trusting that that is enough for right now. That's okay, and that that is an act of kindness. No matter how you feel. So moving into the last stage of the practice, just bringing to mind everyone that you've used that's come to mind in this practice so far. And just imagine sitting with them, being with them in whatever way works for you. And wishing them all well equally. May we all have happiness. May we all have what our heart truly longs for. May we all know kindness and love. Just sitting, wishing them all well, wishing us all well. Here we are, all the different complexities of life, all the different feelings that come up. And can we just wish each other well? And then just beginning to broaden out your sense. Maybe bringing to mind that there's several people here in this live stream and wishing them well, even though you don't know them. May we all be well. We all know kindness. May we all be able to express and receive love. And then just broadening out further, maybe to the people that you imagine that live on your street, in your town, in your country, and in all the countries of this world, and of all the beings that you can see and that you can't see. May we all be well. May we all know kindness, no matter what, no matter who you are, beyond all prejudice, beyond all boundaries, beyond all ideas of right and wrong. Just radiating that sense of infinite potential for kindness, that wish for all beings everywhere to be happy and free, no matter who they are, no matter what they've done. And just sitting with that sense of well-wishing. Seeing how that feels. Noticing. Noticing it in the space of your body. So in your own time, just tuning into how you feel right now. And then opening your eyes, coming back into the space of the room that you're in. Maybe just saying a silent thank you to yourself for your practice, for your attention. For all your efforts. Okay, so I'm gonna just move a little closer to the computer. And yeah, if you just want to use the chat and let me know how that was, if you have any questions about the practice or meditation in general, happy to answer them in the next few minutes. And then I'll just end the session in a few minutes with just saying a little bit about how the Glasgow Buddhist Center works. But yeah, I hope that was a useful practice. It's one of the more helpful practices that I've found. Sorry, I just need to get comfortable. So that's Jeanette saying thank you. Yeah, pleasure. Well, I thought if there's no questions or feedback, then I thought I would just read a poem that I think kind of epitomizes this practice, especially the first stage. It's a poem by Derek Walcott. It's called Love After Love. So I'll read this and then I'll just say a little bit about the Buddhist Center. Yeah, great. Honesty, yeah. Really important part of the practice, really. Well, important part of life. Honesty and humility. It's an important practice. And that's the key word, really, that it's a practice, yeah. We keep coming back to being honest with ourselves and honest and responsible to others, yeah. So this poem is called Love After Love. The time will come when, with elation, you will greet yourself arriving at your own door, in your own mirror, and each will smile at the other's welcome and say, sit here, eat. You will love again the stranger who was yourself. Give wine, give bread, give back your heart to itself. To the stranger who has loved, to the stranger who has loved you all your life, whom you ignored for another, who knows you by heart. Take down the love letters from the bookshelf, the photographs, the desperate notes. Peel your image from the mirror. Sit. Feast on your life. Okay, well, thank you for coming today. And I just want to say a little bit about the Glasgow Buddhist Center. So we run on the basis of generosity, yeah? So we give these teachings freely to whoever want them and need them. And we just ask and hope that people will want to engage in that spirit of generosity by giving whatever you can in terms of financial support to the Buddhist Center. Jeanette's put the link for the donate button or the donate page on our website. So if you feel you can give whatever to support the teachings to be freely given, then please do donate. I was just aware as we were sitting today that, gosh, these practices are just so revolutionary, yeah, and that's how they felt in my life, yeah, they've been such a revolution. So just encourage you, if you felt moved and connected with the practices, to help them continue to be available by donating what you can. But it is definitely give what you can, yeah, and take what you need. That's the spirit of the Buddhist Center. So thank you for coming, and lovely to be here for this last hour with you all. And I hope the rest of your day is nourishing and whatever it needs to be for you today. So lots of love and see you soon.